I paid off the mortgage on this house.
Oh, cool. Thanks.
Oh, cool? I wonder what they're going to do about the $450,000 gift tax. My name is Keiichi Sato. I work for Tokimeki Corporation, a consulting firm specializing in disaster prevention, infrastructure design, and operations. I've been living with my wife Aimi at her parents' house, but I'm home. I just got back from the bank. I paid off the mortgage on the house.
Oh, cool. Thanks.
Oh, cool?
Anyway, Dad, we should talk about living expenses going forward.
Up until now, I had each of you contribute $500 a month for household expenses. But going forward, since we're all living together, I'm thinking we should split everything down the middle.
Keiichi works at a big firm like Tokimeki Corporation, so surely he can cover his share. My take-home pay is a little on the low side, so I'd like Keiichi to cover a bit more.
Well, if that's how it's going to be, I'm done. Actually, I've already been in talks with the company overseas, and I was planning to make a move, so I'll be leaving this house. It's pretty clear that neither Aimi nor you two have ever really treated me as a member of this family, so...
Hold on, are you saying I have to come with you?
No, I'm saying we're getting a divorce, Aimi. You've always said you never want to live abroad, remember?
You're right, I don't want to go overseas. So yeah, I'm fine with a divorce.
If that's what you want, I suppose there's nothing to be done.
Right. Thank you for everything up until now. And just like that, I left the house and made the move to DOVA Incorporation, a company in another country. A few weeks later, I bought this place thinking Aimi might end up moving in with me, so it's pretty spacious. At least the divorce went smoothly with no hard feelings, but what are they going to do about that $450,000 gift tax?
KG, welcome. I honestly didn't think you'd actually come in and interview with DOVA Incorporation. I'm so happy you're here.
Noah, looking forward to working with you. That's Noah Sukada. She's an employee at DOVA Incorporation who reached out and asked if I'd consider bringing my skills to her company.
I heard you were coming in today, so if you'd like, I'd love to help you get settled in. I can help with the move.
Thank you so much. I'll take you up on that. Oh, my phone's ringing. Excuse me for a second. Hello?
Keiji, you need to explain yourself.
I'm sorry. What is this about?
I got a notice from the tax office about a gift tax payment the other day. Nobody said anything to me about owing $450,000.
Keiichi, did you know about this the whole time?
Know about it? I told you from the beginning that gift tax would apply. I tried to walk you through the details, but you and your father kept saying you were too busy to sit down and talk about it.
Did that happen?
The house is in your name, Mitsutoshi, but I was the one making the mortgage payments. The tax office determined that you, as the homeowner, were benefiting from having someone else pay your mortgage, which is why the gift tax is being levied on you.
So we have to pay the full $450,000?
This is just the tax office throwing its weight around, isn't it? We're family after all.
And who was it that let We're Family slide into just ignoring the fact that I paid off your house? The reason I took on these mortgage payments in the first place was because I was told we'll eventually sign the house over to you two, and retitling it would mean refinancing the whole loan. And on top of that, because Waku Waku Incorporation is self-employed, retitling the house would have made it impossible to get the loan approved. I was told it was just a temporary arrangement, so I agreed to pay, but I finished paying off your mortgage, and instead of a thank you, I got nothing. And then straight into a conversation about the next round of living expenses. That was when I knew I was done.
You don't have to be so harsh about it.
Since the tax office is already involved, there's nothing I can do at this point. Please, just pay what you've been billed. Take care.
Hey, wait.
That sounded like a pretty heavy conversation. Are you okay?
Oh, I'm sorry about that. That was my ex-wife and her family. I don't expect I'll have anything to do with them anymore.
I see.
Anyway, once I get my things moved in, would you be up for showing me around the city?
Oh, yes, of course.
I thought that was the end of it, that we'd never cross paths again, but...
He hung up on me. Are we really going to be okay with a $450,000 bill hanging over us?
We'll be fine. We're about to move forward with a joint municipal project. The Municipal Disaster Prevention Infrastructure Integration Project with Kirari City. If this big project succeeds, the municipal subsidies and performance bonus should bring in well over $450,000.
Right, then we absolutely have to make this project a success. We've got Ano as our ace in the sales department, so we'll be fine.
A few days later.
The Municipal Disaster Prevention Infrastructure Integration Project looks like it's off to a good start.
We have Anno to thank for that. He's been doing great work coordinating with our partners. Thank you.
Not at all. It's what I'm here for as sales manager. That said, there is one thing I'm a bit worried about.
What is it?
Our partner firm, Tokimeki Incorporation, is a consulting company that handles the overall system design, disaster scenario development, and operational workflow, essentially the brains of the operation. But ever since Keiichi Sato left and someone new took over our account, things feel like they're moving a little slower.
Even if someone new took over at Tokimeki Incorporation, they still need to be able to run things properly, right? I don't think you need to worry too much about it.
Right. If losing one employee is enough to throw everything into chaos, then there's not a company we can rely on as a long-term partner.
Yes, that's true. I just hope things don't start slipping from here on out.
Aren't you meeting with the Waku Waku side and the Kirari City rep soon?
Make sure you address any concerns head-on and go into the project with confidence. Our equipment works fine, and we've always patched small issues as we went.
It'll be fine this time too. Yes, I'll make sure to keep things on track and meet your expectations. However,
I'm Shiroya taking over for Keiichi. It's a pleasure to meet you.
I'm Onne, the Kirari City representative. Let me get right to it. Looking over the materials you sent, I have a few concerns. First, there's no defined first response protocol outside of regular office hours, nights, weekends, holidays. And it's unclear who has final decision-making authority in a disaster. That worries me. I'm also concerned about whether the elderly resident registry can actually be used effectively for evacuation coordination. Wouldn't that kind of structure and planning fall under Tokimeki Incorporation's scope as a consultant?
Yes, that's right. It's just that this was really one of Keiichi's strengths. I'm not entirely sure I can handle it as well as he did. I'll also need some equipment adjustments, so I'd appreciate Waku Waku's cooperation on that front.
Of course. So, starting with the initial response protocol.
For now, I'm thinking we plan around a weekday daytime scenario first, then work from there to cover irregular situations. That way, it should be easier for the city office staff to work with, I think.
That makes sense, yes.
The elderly resident registry, that information is loaded into Waku Waku's system, right?
Yes, it's already in there. Though, since it's digital, if the power grid goes down...
In that case, we'll use the emergency backup power.
Is this really going to be okay? Meanwhile,
The Integrated Disaster Prevention Model pilot in Jajan City has been going really well. You've been a huge help.
Thank you. But honestly, the environment here is so different from Japan in so many ways. It's been a real challenge figuring it all out.
Well, it is a different country. Things are bound to be different.
There's a major river running right through the middle of Jajan City. And the levee construction is very different from what you'd see in Japan. Honestly, I'm especially worried there could be a serious flood at some point.
If that river overflows, that'd be catastrophic. But is that really a realistic concern?
Not that river itself, but one of its tributaries has actually flooded before during heavy rain.
Then, let's build a plan that prepares for the worst case scenario. For instance, we could create a hazard map assuming flooding in this area, and build out an evacuation coordination plan from there.
That's a great idea. Tell me more.
I can't believe you came up with something that's specific and practical just like that. That really surprised me.
Did I? I'm really just drawing on what I learned back in Japan.
Keiichi, I wonder if what happened back in Japan is still weighing on him. You haven't been here all that long yet. Please don't push yourself too hard.
Thank you. I appreciate that. A few weeks later, Kirari City held a municipal-run disaster preparedness drill simulating heavy overnight rain, but the shelter opening is massively delayed. People are showing up to evacuate and can't get in. They're stuck outside in what's supposed to be a downpour. What is going on?
I know. Didn't you put together a nighttime response manual? We built the nighttime protocol together with Shiroya, but the plan was to get sign-off from the responsible party before opening the shelter.
We couldn't get a hold of that person, and there was no clear answer for who actually had the authority to make the call.
What?
People are going to get hurt if this keeps up.
One, where are the vulnerable resident lists?
That should be in Waku Waku's system, a PDF registry. And a printed list, I thought.
This drill is stimulating a blackout. Having the list sitting inside a machine doesn't help the staff running the shelter if they can't access it.
This can't be happening.
What about the emergency backup power?
That's needed somewhere far more critical. We can't spare it here. There are elderly residents, people with disabilities, people who are bedridden. So many people in this area who need support. And right now, not a single one of them has been evacuated.
But we'll figure out a way to get those documents accessible right now.
This is unacceptable. If this were real, we would not be able to protect people's lives. We need to go back to the drawing board and get this right.
I'm so sorry.
That was a look at the disaster preparedness drill in Kirari City. It appears that the emergency shelter meant to protect residents was unable to function as intended. Swift corrective action is expected to be required going forward.
When you look at the big picture, the initial nighttime response, the evacuation coordination for elderly residents, the decision-making criteria during a disaster and who's accountable, every single concern we flagged from the start ended up being a real problem. The biggest issue, I think, was that the plans on paper were completely disconnected from what actually happens on the ground.
You're right.
I have no excuses.
But the equipment we supplied performed as expected, didn't it?
That's only true if you have the right people in place to use it. Today, everything devolved into total chaos. Nobody knew who was using which piece of equipment or what they were supposed to do with it. The Kirari City Council has determined that this drill was a serious failure.
No.
With this many problems coming to light, I can't say I'm surprised. I'm sorry, but we can no longer leave this project in the hands of Waku Waku Incorporation and Tokimeki Incorporation. Effective immediately, the Municipal Disaster Prevention Infrastructure Integration Project is being placed on hold, and we've been directed to issue a new public solicitation. Any additional costs incurred will be billed to both companies. I apologize for the inconvenience, but please understand that this is where we are.
Understood. So there it is. If the project is dead, so is any hope of that performance bonus.
But what are we supposed to do?
I'd like nothing more than to reverse this decision. But it's already been made by the Kirari City Council. There's nothing we can do at this point.
We can't pay off that gift tax just by running the company normally.
The last thing we can afford is penalty interest piling up on top of everything. We need to avoid that at all costs. Let's try to find another consulting firm and see if we can get involved in a different project.
Understood. I'll start looking. By the way, Keiichi Sato has apparently become quite well known, both domestically and internationally. Did you know about that?
What?
What do you mean?
You hadn't heard? Take a look at this article.
This is...
Of course, this is it.
Meanwhile,
Congratulations on the successful pilot in Zhejiang City.
thank you. All that hard work paid off.
And now they're rolling out the integrated disaster prevention model to other major cities ahead of schedule. But honestly, what really shot your reputation through the roof was how fast the response was to that heavy rain and flooding in Dakit City.
The disaster model we built around the possibility of the Zhejiang City River flooding really came through.
It did. And actually, I wanted to talk to you about something, Keiichi.
Oh? Sure, what's up? Noah's proposal was about to open up an entirely new chapter.
I didn't realize Days Incorporation had a Japan branch.
Yeah, apparently the main office is overseas, but
Excuse me?
Nice to meet you Wait,
Keiichi!
I knew it. I had a feeling we'd find you here. Good to see you.
I heard this was a meeting with Waku Waku Incorporation, so I had a feeling. You're the ones who got dropped from the Kirari City project, aren't you?
Word travels fast.
Well, this actually works out perfectly then. I'd like to team up with Days Incorporation to revive the Kirari City project. Days Incorporation's integrated disaster prevention model has gotten a lot of recognition overseas. And I hear you're looking at bringing it to Japan too, right?
Yes, that's right. However, I'm going to have to decline a partnership with Waku Waku Incorporation.
What?
Why?
At the request of the city representative, Mr. One, Days Incorporation will be taking over Kirari City's Municipal Disaster Prevention Infrastructure Integration Project.
We have the in-house capability to install and operate our own disaster prevention equipment, so we don't need a partner with Waku Waku Incorporation for that. We reviewed the details of the project, and I understand the concerns that were flagged never got resolved before the drill went ahead.
If you don't mind me asking, if you had been the one handling this, what would you have done?
Good question. First, I'd set the disaster scenario at 2 a.m. rather than a weekday afternoon, with heavy rain and a power outage already in progress. For the initial response, I'd define step-by-step actions at 5 minutes, 15 minutes, and 30 minutes after the event, starting with the on-duty officer taking the lead. After that, decision-making authority would shift over time, from the duty officer to the vice mayor and then to the mayor.
I see.
As for the elderly evacuation coordination, I'd update the elderly resident registry to link each person to a map location, a shelter, and an assigned support person. When an evacuation order is issued, at-risk residents would be automatically flagged, and there'd be a preset list for exactly who goes to pick up each person and where.
That's incredible. The drill was such a mess, and you just laid out a clear, concrete solution on the spot.
Keiji has a gift for cutting through plans that only work on paper and proposing real solutions that hold up in real life. If Days Incorporation takes over, what happened at that drill will never happen again.
Right. Looking at Jajan City and Docket City, I think that's clear.
So, for those reasons, I'm afraid we can't work with you.
With skills like yours, you could make it work even with our company involved.
Exactly! You didn't have to divorce me and leave in the first place.
President Michishiro, please, let's stop. We can't keep putting Keiichi and Noah through this. But, Keiichi, Noah, I'm sorry for putting you in this position. I've made my decision. A contract with Days Incorporation isn't in the cards. And I realize I can't keep working under President Michishiro and the others either. I'll see these two out, and then I'll be looking into finding a new position myself.
Oh no.
If you and Aimi had been willing to actually value the people around you, things might not have ended up like this. But you let yourselves get blinded by money and chase your own interests at every turn, and this is where it got you. You've made that loud and clear all by yourselves.
Excuse us.
After that, Waku Waku Incorporation saw a steady exodus. Anno and the rest of the core staff resigned one after another, until the company could no longer stay afloat and shut down. The Michishiro family had to give up their home and moved into a cramped apartment, where neighbors could apparently hear the three of them fighting non-stop.
If only we hadn't let Keiichi go.
You're the one who made him pay the mortgage, Dad. Oh, stop it! I am sick and tired of the fighting every single day.
Stuck living with the consequences of their mistakes and refusing to learn from them, they were apparently still job hunting. As for me,
Do you still have feelings for your ex-wife, Aimi?
what? No, I'm completely over her.
Then, would you give me a chance? I'd love to start something with you.
Yes, absolutely. Enjoyed the video?
Then smash that like button and subscribe.